So today, we have a heavyweight fight on our hands. The 8 surviving Invincible variants from the Invincible War taking on Conquest. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of videos and people liking to talk and discuss about this now that Invincible Season 3 is over and the Invincible War is over and Conquest has come and not died. What would happen if Conquest showed up like a day prior to when he actually did? Presumably here, when the variants were called in by Angstrom. What would have happened? A fight probably would have happened. But which side would have won? Well, that's what I'm here to find out. So, let's get started with the 8 variants. But before I start off, I want to start off by mentioning that none of them are as strong as the main Invincible, because none of them went through that rigorous 3-month training with Cecil. However, their ruthless nature does kind of make up for it. But in the first variant we're talking about is Sinister Mark. In his world, he joined his father, Omni-Man, and the Viltrumite Empire. Together, they decimated Earth and killed off every major superhero, which would include the OG Guardians of the Globe. And we know by the 3rd day, he had decimated an entire city and killed every hero who got in his way. He was also kind of like the de facto leader of the group, as he just had the most aura. That's what the kids are saying these days, right? He just had the most aura about him. Next up, we have Omnimark. In his homeworld, we know he somehow killed his father, Omni-Man. It's believed that he worshipped Nolan so much that he wanted to be him, so he killed him and donned a similar style costume. He was able to fight against Main Mark, presumably kill a few Reaniman, and demolish an entire city. And for some reason or another, he really hated Adam Eve, which is why he caused a compound fracture in her leg, instead of actually killing her, because he knew if he had tried to kill her, she would have went all berserk and full powered and whatnot, like she did on Conquest. At least that's a prevailing theory. Next, we have Mohawk Mark. In his homeworld, he was a little more detached from human life than the main Mark, which made it easier for him to choose to join his father. After some unknown events, he somehow became the Emperor of Viltrum, usurping Thrag in the process, someone we haven't seen in the show yet, but I think he's showing up next season. His ego is only matched by his lack of morality and humanity, and he was also strong enough to fight against the main Mark, send him flying, and do some real damage before he was eventually knocked out. But seeing how that wasn't the last time we saw this variant, as he survived to the end of the war, he probably killed some heroes along his way, as well as destroyed that prison. So, pretty strong and pretty notable. Next up, we have Prisoner Mark. In his homeworld, just like the main Mark, he rebelled against Nolan and just like main Mark, he wasn't a match for him. But instead of leaving, Nolan imprisoned his son for a year in a Viltrumite prison, forcing him to endure intense psychological and physical torture, resulting in his current appearance. This experience made him highly sadistic, aggressive, and ruthless. He destroyed Moscow and killed the hero Cast Iron, who could turn his body into iron, increasing his strength and durability, but that was still no match for this sadistic variant. Next, we have Viltrum Mark. In his world, Mark became fully devoted to the Viltrumite Empire, donning the suit and becoming a soldier in their ranks. He did conquer Earth, and in the comics, he even somehow killed the legendary Spawn, although I'm not using comics in this fight. It makes no sense, but he somehow did it not once, but twice. We don't know how he did it, but whatever. He did decimate the entire city of Chicago and killed that werewolf hero that you just saw on the screen. So, still pretty strong, and he's got some drip. Bro, look into those soulless eyes, dude. Hell yeah. Next up, we have Phantom, or Masked Mark. Just like the others, he was generally fine with causing havoc and destruction, but his sole purpose in joining Angstrom Livy was to find his mother, Debbie, in the main universe, and to bring her to his very own, because his mom had died somehow, and he loved her. It's that simple. Her death is probably why he turned down this path. He doesn't have any feeds, But he is still invincible, so he's still incredibly strong, durable, fast, and all that great stuff. Next, we have Striped Mark. Not much is known about this variant's backstory, but while his costume is similar to Mark's original one, it has the Viltrumite logo on each of his shoulders, implying that he serves the Empire. He might even be Viltrum's emperor, as he refers to it as his empire. He killed heroes such as British Knight, as well as the duo of Big Mildew, a hulking hero, and Business Baby. He also leveled the entire UK all by himself. So the dude's really strong. And lastly, No Mask Mark. Not much is known about this variant either, but it's implied that he had a close relationship with William, possibly romantic. But then he died somehow, which is probably what caused this Mark to turn down on this path. I also believe that he doesn't wear a mask because he wants his enemies to see his face as he kills them. He effortlessly killed the Hunk, another hulking hero, and destroyed all of Paris. Again, all by himself, and enjoyed every moment of it. I also want to say that they all probably scaled to Mark in Season 2, if not Season 1 at least, which means they can all stop meteors, easily throw a baseball around the planet, kill massive kaiju single-handedly, fly at several Mach speeds, and they can take a crap ton of damage, like a beating so bad that their entire faces are disfigured, stabbed in the chest, and no-cell house-busting explosions and whatnot. But then, in the other corner, we have Conquest, who is by far the most powerful Viltrumite and character we have seen thus far, just above characters like Omni-Man and Anissa. He effortlessly overpowered Oliver with one hit, knocking nearly all of his teeth out, and would have ripped him in half like string cheese if it wasn't for Mark. Speaking of, he was definitely stronger than Mark, capable of effortlessly sending him flying through multiple buildings, causing massive craters that literally leveled an entire city, break his bones severely, and tackle him with enough force to destroy a city. He also seemed to love pain, and at least to a point, despite being beaten mercilessly and sent flying through several buildings by Mark. He was bleeding, and yet he just smiled. He literally didn't even feel hits from Oliver, who obliterated the Maulers earlier in the season with ease. He also shook off several attacks from Adam Eve with her massive pink constructs. He also survived her full power, which incinerated his flesh, followed by Mark literally caving his face in over and over again. He survived it. We know he's coming back next season. He's just as fast, if not faster, as someone like Nolan, Mark, or Anissa. He's also a savage, brutal warrior who loves fighting. He just enjoys a good fight and brutalizing his opponents. He's also just been conquering and destroying planets for thousands of years, and even survived the Great Purge of the Viltrumite Empire, however long ago that was. Thousands. They make it seem like it's thousands of years ago. And above all that, he has like a giant metal fist on his right hand. Probably for unknown reasons, don't know why it's there. Maybe he lost his hand at some point. But it probably increases his attack power. Anyways. So, which side wins? Well, as pretty obvious, Conquest is quite decently stronger, tougher, probably faster, and definitely more experienced warrior who can match or even surpass their brutality and ruthlessness. He even has a metal fist, so like, guys, come on. But a lot of people talk about this, and they do their best to try to convince you that it's close, but I really don't think it's that close, because it is 8v1. It is 8 on 1. All of these marks at least scale to Mark from Season 2, who is already above the Immortal, can match Thula and stagger characters like Nolan, Lucan, Anissa, and Battle Beast. Not to mention, some of them like Mohawk and Striped Mark are already Emperors of Veltrum, and that at least one of them, Omnimark, killed the Omni-Man of his universe. No, they wouldn't have like great teamwork or anything, but I don't think it's a matter. I don't think that matters when it's 8-on-1. There's also the fact that some of these guys probably know the Conquest from their own realities, especially Mohawk and Stripe, who either made him run, submit to their rule, or straight up killed him. Now, as all these marks differ from main mark, the conquests from their realities probably differ from the main conquest one way or another. That's a fair argument. However, Conquest is still Conquest, one of the oldest, most powerful Viltrumites out there. This won't be easy for them, and I'd say at least half of them, 4 of them, will die. But I'd say Sinister Mark, Omni Mark, Mohawk Mark, and maybe one of the others like Striped or No Mask will carry them to victory. Earth will probably be shattered by this fight. It'll be brutal. Mountains will be destroyed. Earthquakes will be happening. But at the end of the day, I'm siding with at least some of the Invincible variants winning this fight. I just can't see a way Conquest can win a 1v8. But anyways, like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought, and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. Please leave a question for the Q&A video, and all my social medias will be down in the description, and all the great stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!